Hello, I'm Madeline Rose.
And I'm Melody Astle.
We work for the Arkansas Archaeological Survey in the Registrar's Office, and today we will be presenting on preservation and discovery at the Grandview Society dig. This presentation will cover the rehabilitation and inventory of artifacts discovered at Tom Jones Site 3HE40, located on the Grandview Prairie Wildlife Management Area during the Grandview Society dig from 2001 to 2004. This rehabilitation process involves repackaging according to modern standards of curation, washing artifacts, assigning new, unique catalog numbers, and reboxing materials, all with the intention of long-term preservation. An important goal for a large collection such as this is to streamline the inventory process through use of a new digital cataloging system, a working database that can be made available for future research purposes. Lastly, this presentation will discuss the importance of 3D scanning, 3D printing, and the infusion of cutting-edge technology with archaeology. The goal of 3D technology is to develop educational materials available for public display and interpretation.
The Tom Jones site is situated on a blackland prairie woodland ecosystem and was believed to be a central hub on an important Native American trade route. The site itself has been described as a large, multi-mound ceremonial center inhabited by ancestors of the Caddo Nation between AD 1400 and AD 1450. The site is home to a large temple mound and roughly 5 small house mounds. The presence of excavated animal bone, whole cooking vessels, and various food matters such as corn shows that several of these structures were likely used as cookhouses. Artifacts collected throughout the site are evidence of social or religious centers, as well as residential structures largely associated with ritual activities, namely food preparation for community feasts and gatherings. The Grandview Society dig was one of the first to implement geophysical surveying and spatial organization at a Caddo Mound site in southwest Arkansas.
Shown here are 2 examples of pipes found at Tom Jones site. They are common elbow-style pipes, which are usually cylindrical in shape, but these are more unique in that they have rare star motifs. The artifact pictured here is a potential spindle whorl fragment, which would have been used for spinning thread. It is common to find fragmented pieces of artifacts, which are then studied and interpreted in order to determine how they would appear as a whole artifact, as well as the function they served. This vessel is one of many styles represented within the collection of prehistoric Caddo pottery. The vessel shown here is an example of piece brushed incised decoration. One of the main goals of this project was to assess packaging conditions of excavated artifacts in order to determine whether they matched up to modernized standards for curation and inventory. Each and every one of the thousands of excavated artifacts needed, at the very least, repackaging, with many also requiring careful washing. Artifacts were then to be tagged with acid-free paper and assigned new, unique catalog numbers associated with their proveniences for digital database input. Removing core samples from their foil wrapping and situating them into curation standard ABS piping was also undertaken as a necessary component of repackaging efforts. This piping does not off-gas, meaning it won't contaminate the sample and creates a stabilized environment for the delicate core structures. These pictures show a before and after view of packaging and artifacts. As you can see here, the photo on the left is an example of a box of artifacts before it went through the process of repackaging. The daub was bagged into curation standard 4mm plastic bags and tagged with acid-free paper, assigned a new accession number, labeled with its associated site number, and placed into a new Rubbermaid box. This process was repeated throughout the collection.
The method of paper record keeping for collections management has been the standard for many years. As technology advances and new digital methods of record keeping are pioneered, the paper method proves to be a less efficient form of collections management. Using tablet technology, a digital database can be implemented in both the field and laboratory. Applying a digital database system allows for the development of a program that is equipped with more detailed descriptors for inventory purposes. For example, we are able to input comprehensive information in data fields such as accession information, units, levels, FSNs or field serial numbers, and detailed type descriptions. One particular capability of the digital method that is challenging for paper record keeping is the option to upload photos of important or particularly interesting artifacts with their associated unique FSNs. Using this new data entry system, Madeline and I created 2,092 database entries and inventoried 142,467 artifacts in a matter of months. When searching our digital inventory, a researcher is able to access information about artifacts based on a narrowed down search of artifact types. For example, historic glassware, prehistoric lithics and diagnostics, or prehistoric ceramics. They would also have the ability to perform quicker analyses by locating artifacts from their assigned space in collections where they remain in specific numbered boxes, shelves, and rows. The main goal of a project of this nature is to generate educational outreach materials that can be used for public display and interpretation. Implementing 3D technology in educational institutions is imperative to creating more public awareness about prehistoric cultures and the important work institutions do to bring their history back to life. Using 3D scanning and printing technology allows us to produce tangible replicas of impressive, reconstructed whole vessels from Caddo cookhouses. Along with a searchable online database, a digital library of 3D scans provides researchers with an arsenal of remote, easily accessible information at their disposal. For our project, we used an Artex Space Spider handheld scanner, which is about the size and weight of an iron, equipped with blue light technology that allowed us to scan without any special lighting effects. Here you can see Madeline in the process of creating a 3D scan. We first place the artifact on a turntable, which allows us to get a smooth 360-degree rotation. The scanner itself can be very sensitive to quick movement, so this method has proved to be the best way for the scanner to capture every inch of the artifact's surface. Once we have completed the scan, we move through various steps in the software in order to erase any outlying images the scanner picked up, to manage errors that may have arisen, and to apply the texture of the artifact, which maintains its integrity and significance. This photo shows a completed 3D scan of the star pipe shown in slide 3. As you can see, this scanning technology creates a realistic 3D image where one is able to see the texture as well as spots where there are breaks in the artifact. One is able to zoom in and out of the artifact to further analyze the texture or any designs seen on the surface. Researchers are also able to use this software to measure the scanned artifacts to the millimeter. This allows researchers to analyze artifacts without having the physical object in front of them, opening the door for new possibilities in research. Through this technology, we are able to breathe new life into older collections.
Tangible educational output allows for community outreach and education, as well as gives credit to the tireless efforts of Archaeological Society members who participated in the 3-year-long dig. We are currently wrapping up the project with an educational brochure with more information about Tom Jones site and our preservation efforts. We will be creating a supplemental Spanish translation of that brochure in order to extend the important and fascinating world of archaeology to a wider audience. The Rick Evans Grandview Prairie Conservation Education Center will house a small assortment of 3D printed whole vessel pottery from the collection. Our translated brochures, as well as an informational poster with an in-depth study of the site and its changing landscape over time. We hope you are able to visit the Conservation Education Center, someday in the future to see a little more of what we have been doing for the last year. If you have any questions about the nature of this project, please contact us at the Arkansas Archaeological Survey.
Thank you to Jared Pebworth for consulting with us about Caddo history and culture. Thank you as well to Carl Drexler, George Sabo, Tika McLaughlin, and Sarah Shepard for their support and guidance throughout the duration of this project.